She thought it was just mild stomach pain. Succulum. But just a few hours later, she was rushed to the emergency room for a reason no one could have expected, something she used every day in her kitchen. Did you know that millions of people use baking soda daily for baking, cleaning, even mouthwash? But only a tiny fraction realize the true power of this seemingly harmless white powder? We've delved into hundreds of studies, interviewed doctors, and spoken with everyday people only to discover that baking soda isn't just a kitchen staple. It could be one of the most underrated natural medicines in the world. In this video, we'll uncover the 10 most powerful and surprising uses of baking soda, from whitening teeth to supporting kidney health, from boosting athletic performance to even potentially aiding cancer chemotherapy. Sounds unbelievable? Then you'll want to stick around, because you might be making the same dangerous mistakes as millions of others. Before we dive in, I have a small question for you. Have you ever used baking soda for health purposes? Or do you simply see it as a harmless baking powder? If you're pursuing a healthier, cost-effective lifestyle and want to understand what you're putting into your body, this video is the ultimate guide you don't want to miss. If you're watching this, drop your country in the comments below. Let us know how this community of natural health enthusiasts is growing worldwide. Let's embark on this journey with the first part, a detox that costs less than $1, but could change the way you view your health. Let's dive in. The $1 detox, how baking soda helps cleanse your body inside out. It started with a rash, just a small one. But for weeks, nothing helped. Lotions, creams, even prescriptions. Until one day, she tried soaking in warm water with a spoonful of baking soda, and something shifted. You may have heard that baking soda can help detox, but how does it work, and is it really trustworthy? The truth is, our bodies already have an incredible detox system through the liver, kidneys, lungs, and skin. But with the pressures of processed foods, polluted environments, and stress, these organs sometimes need a little gentle support. And sometimes that support comes from something simple you already have in your kitchen. How it works. Why does baking soda aid detox? Baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate, dissolves in water to create a mildly alkaline environment. This is crucial because it neutralizes excess acid in the body, which can cause fatigue, muscle pain, and metabolic imbalances. It supports the kidneys in flushing out uric acid and water-soluble toxins more effectively. A study in the Journal of Nephrology found that patients with chronic kidney disease who used baking soda had slower disease progression and a lower risk of needing dialysis compared to those who didn't. This shows that, when used correctly, baking soda isn't just a folk remedy. It's a scientifically backed supportive therapy. Simple but correct usage. You don't need to do anything complicated. Just mix 1 to 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a glass of warm water. Drink it before breakfast or about an hour after dinner. Most importantly, don't consume more than twice a day, and don't continue for more than 2 weeks without a doctor's guidance. Many also opt for a baking soda bath 2 to 3 times a week by adding 3 to 4 tablespoons to a tub of warm water. The result? Relaxation and softer skin, like your body just hit the reset button. Lisa's small lesson. Lisa, the woman from the story at the start, wasn't a natural health enthusiast. But when her doctor said, "We're out of options," she turned to the simplest solutions. The miracle wasn't that baking soda cured her. It was the shift in how she cared for herself. Gentler, more mindful, and trusting in her body's ability to heal. That's the beauty of baking soda. It doesn't promise flashy results, but if you give it a chance, it quietly helps you become healthier day by day. And it doesn't stop at detox. Baking soda can also help you feel more confident when you look in the mirror. 2. The smile secret. Why dentists quietly endorsed baking soda. He smiled, but it wasn't confident. I've tried every toothpaste, whitening, charcoal, even the fancy blue gel stuff. Nothing worked. Then one day an old friend whispered, "Why not try baking soda like my mom used to?" We all know a smile can change a day. But when that smile is hidden behind stains from coffee, tea, or red wine, that joy becomes more reserved. What few realize is that one of the most effective teeth whitening ingredients isn't in expensive tubes of toothpaste. It's right in your kitchen. Why does baking soda whiten teeth and protect gums? Baking soda has a fine, mildly abrasive texture that's just enough to remove surface stains, extrinsic stains, from coffee, tea, or tobacco. Avoid damaging enamel when used at the right frequency. Beyond abrasion, its alkaline nature neutralizes acids in the mouth, the perfect environment for bacteria that cause cavities and gum disease. Reduces bad breath, keeping your breath fresh. A study in the Journal of Clinical Dentistry showed that toothpaste containing baking soda removed plaque and whitened teeth significantly better than those without it. How to use it at home: simple and budget-friendly. The easiest method: dip a soft bristled toothbrush in water, then into a bit of baking soda. Brush gently for 2 minutes, no more than 2-3 times a week. Or mix 1 part baking soda plus 1 part coconut oil plus 1 to 2 drops of peppermint essential oil for a homemade natural toothpaste. No neon colors, no thick foam, just real results. Andrew, the man who couldn't smile, freely turned to baking soda on a friend's simple suggestion. After a few weeks, not only were his teeth whiter, but his mouth felt fresher after every brush. It feels like my mouth is truly clean. Not that sharp, minty burn, but clean to the roots of my teeth, he said. What he learned wasn't just a whitening trick, it was this. Sometimes simplicity is what we've forgotten to seek amid endless options. Baking soda doesn't just help you smile confidently, it can also ease discomfort from inside, especially when you're dealing with that burning sensation after meals. 3. Instant heartburn relief or hidden risk. What you should know. She got used to sleeping upright. Every night, after a late dinner of her favorite spicy noodles and cold soda, came hours of clutching her chest, struggling to breathe, throat burning. It's just stress, she reassured herself. Until one night she tried a glass of baking soda water, something her aunt used to swear by. And for the first time in weeks, she slept peacefully. If you've ever felt that burning sensation from your stomach creeping up to your throat, especially after a heavy meal or lying down right after eating, you're not alone. Heartburn, or acid reflux, affects millions, especially those who eat spicy foods, drink coffee, or deal with stress. The surprising part? A small spoonful of baking soda can bring near-instant relief. Why baking soda works. The science behind the miracle glass. Heartburn occurs when stomach acid flows back into the esophagus, causing a burning sensation. Baking soda, a base, neutralizes acid in this reaction. NaCO3 plus HCl, NaCl plus CO2 plus CO. In simple terms, it turns acid into salt, water, and gas, quickly easing the burning, tightness in the chest, or throat discomfort. According to the Gastroenterology and Hepatology Journal, sodium bicarbonate is one of the fastest-acting natural antacids, working in just minutes. How to use it correctly and mistakes to avoid. To relieve heartburn, mix 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a glass of warm water, keen 240 ml. Drink slowly, 30-60 minutes after a meal, when heartburn symptoms start. Don't use more than twice a day, and don't continue for more than 2 weeks without a doctor's guidance. Common mistakes. Using it daily as a habit disrupts electrolyte balance. Using it to counter an uncontrolled diet instead of changing lifestyle habits. Jenna's small lesson. Jenna thought heartburn was no big deal until it affected her sleep and daily energy. When medication stopped working, she recalled her mother saying, "In the old days, a glass of baking soda water fixed it." And it did. She had her first restful night in weeks. More importantly, Jenna changed her habits, eating earlier, choosing lighter foods, and listening to her body instead of forcing it to endure. Sometimes the quickest solution is a gentle reminder to live slower, choose better. And when you've tackled the inside, it's time to deal with external irritants, those that cause itching, redness, or cracking, especially in humid climates or summer. 4. Fungi foes. How baking soda battles common skin infections. The boy refused to take off his shoes all summer. His feet were red, peeling, and itching every time he sweated. His mom tried every ointment, antifungal cream, even prescriptions. But then his grandmother gently suggested, try soaking his feet in baking soda. And from that day, his skin began to calm, little by little. Though few admit it, fungal skin infections are incredibly common, from athletes' foot to diaper rash in adults or babies, to damp, sensitive areas. They start as itchy red patches, then crack, burn, and easily recur, especially in hot, humid climates, after exercise, or in tight shoes. Luckily, a simple method can soothe the skin and fight fungi at the root: baking soda. Why baking soda fights fungi? Fungi thrive in moist, acidic environments. When mixed with water, baking soda creates a mildly alkaline environment that disrupts fungal cell membranes, preventing their growth. Dries out excess moisture in affected areas. Soothes itching, burning, and discomfort, especially effective for foot soaks or topical application. A study in mycopathology found that over 80% of tested fungal strains were significantly inhibited by a baking soda solution of 10 jurane per liter of water. How to use it effectively at home. Foot soak. Mix 3-4 tablespoons of baking soda in a basin of warm water. Soak feet for 15-20 minutes daily for 5-7 days. Dry thoroughly afterward. Topical application. Mix baking soda with water in a 2:1 ratio to form a paste. Apply to the affected area. Leave for 10-15 minutes, then rinse and dry. Note: don't use on open wounds, bleeding skin, or sensitive areas without testing a small patch first. The boy and his grandmother's lesson. After a week of nightly foot soaks, the boy was not only itch-free but back on the soccer field with newfound confidence. More importantly, his grandmother taught him to care for his body gently, naturally, and sustainably. Not every solution lies in a pharmacy. Sometimes it's in an elder's memory, a dusty kitchen shelf, or the act of listening to simple things. With soothed skin, you might wonder, can baking soda help with more private internal issues? The answer is, possibly. Because next we'll tackle a topic many experience but few discuss. 5. UTI hacks. Can baking soda really help with urinary discomfort? She dreaded going to work. Not because of the job, but the bathroom. The stinging, burning sensation with every trip made her afraid to leave home. One day, exhausted and scrolling through a women's forum, she read a comment. Try a bit of baking soda. Endure one day and you'll notice a difference. And that was the day her fear began to fade. Urinary tract infections, UTIs, are incredibly common, especially in women. From pelvic pressure to burning urination or frequent urges with no relief, UTIs aren't just uncomfortable. They impact mental health and quality of life. In many cases, baking soda has been passed down as a home remedy to ease symptoms while awaiting medical treatment. How it works. Does baking soda help UTIs? UTIs are often caused by bacteria, especially E. coli, thriving in overly acidic urine. When diluted, baking soda's mild alkaline solution can reduce urine acidity, making it harder for bacteria to grow. Ease the burning sensation during urination. Support the urinary system in flushing more comfortably. A small study in the Japanese Journal of Urology found that women with recurrent UTIs saw significant improvement in pain and frequency of burning urination after 4 weeks of low-dose baking soda alongside conventional treatment. Safe and effective use at home. Mix 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in a glass of warm water. Drink once a day for up to 3 to 5 days, paired with plenty of plain water. Never replace antibiotics if an infection is confirmed or if you have fever or blood in urine. Don't use if you have high blood pressure, kidney issues, or are pregnant unless approved by a doctor. Emma's small lesson in being gentle with herself. Emma thought she was weak for struggling with something minor. But UTIs aren't minor. They stole her sleep, confidence, and sense of control over her body. After trying the baking soda trick along with rest and healthier habits, she realized healing isn't just about medicine. It's a journey of care, listening, and gentleness with oneself. Baking soda can ease sensitive areas, but its journey doesn't end there. There's another vulnerable spot where tiny wounds can make your day painful, the mouth. 6. From canker sore to cure, the mouthwash that actually works. The boy sat quietly at the dinner table, avoiding talk, avoiding smiles. When his mom asked, he just shook his head and pointed inside his mouth. A tiny sore at the corner of his lips made every chew, every swallow, agony. The doctor's appointment was days away. His grandmother stepped in, mixed a glass of warm water with a pinch of baking soda, and said, "Rinse gently and you'll feel different." And sure enough, within days, his smile returned. Canker sores or small mouth ulcers are minor but impactful. They appear suddenly on the inner cheek, gums, or tongue. Though tiny, they make you wince with every bite or word. While many opt for gels or antiseptic rinses, a gentler method is gaining traction. Rinsing with baking soda. Why baking soda soothes and heals faster? When canker sores appear, the mouth often becomes more acidic due to food or bacterial fermentation, prone to secondary infections if not cleaned properly. Baking soda's natural alkalinity neutralizes mouth acidity, reducing stinging pain, prevents bacterial growth, keeping the mouth cleaner, reduces inflammation and speeds up healing. A study in the Journal of the American Dental Association found that people rinsing with a baking soda solution twice daily healed faster and felt less pain than those using only saline. How to make a canker-sore mouthwash at home. Mix 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a glass of warm water, keen 240 ml. Rinse gently for 30 seconds to 1 minute, 2-3 times a day. Don't swallow the solution. Tip: avoid eating or drinking for 15 minutes after rinsing to maximize effectiveness. Don't use if sores bleed, last over 10 days, or are accompanied by fever. See a dentist. The boy's small lesson and the memory of a warm glass. The boy didn't just learn to ease pain, he learned something else. Some wounds don't need force, just gentle healing. That humble glass of baking soda water carried a family tradition of care, simple, subtle, and full of love. From the mouth to the feet, from tiny sores to intense muscle fatigue after workouts, baking soda has more secrets to share. Ever wondered if this white powder could help you run farther, pedal harder, or endure better during your fitness journey? 7. The pre-workout trick elite. Athletes don't want you to know. He was always the first to give up in HIIT class. By the third round, he was gasping, knees trembling. But then, at a meetup, a gym buddy, a former track athlete, whispered, "Try drinking a bit of baking soda before training. I'm not kidding. It'll help you go longer without burning muscles." In that session, for the first time, he didn't quit. We've all felt it. Legs burning, breath racing, muscles screaming, "Stop!" It's not laziness or weakness, it's lactic acid building up, an inevitable part of intense exercise. But what few know is that baking soda can help you train longer, stronger, and ache less afterward. Why baking soda boosts athletic performance? During intense exercise, your body produces lactic acid, lowering muscle pH and causing that burning fatigue. Sodium bicarbonate baking soda is a natural alkaline buffer that neutralizes acid in blood and muscles, maintaining stability longer. Delays fatigue, letting you extend your workout or competition. A meta-analysis in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research confirmed that athletes using baking soda before training performed significantly better in activities like sprint cycling, short-distance swimming, CrossFit, and HIIT. How to use it effectively before workouts. 60 and 90 minutes before training, mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda in warm water or diluted fruit juice. Sip slowly, possibly in 2 doses to avoid stomach discomfort. Some may experience bloating or nausea. Start with a small dose and test during a light workout before using for heavy sessions or competitions. Tip: pair with a light, carb-rich snack, like a banana or whole grain bread, to minimize irritation and boost effectiveness. Thomas's small lesson and quiet victory. Thomas, the man who ran out of steam by round 3, now consistently finishes full workouts. But the biggest change wasn't his performance. It was trusting his body again. "I'm not afraid of giving up mid-workout anymore. I feel like I'm working with my body, not against it." He learned, performance isn't just willpower, it's understanding and supporting your body wisely. If baking soda can make your legs tougher, what happens if it also protects one of your most vital, silent organs, your kidneys? 8. Kidney lifeline, baking soda's role in slowing CKD progression. He was always healthy, proud of never needing a hospital. But then his daughter noticed. He urinated less, his face was slightly swollen each morning, and he was tired all day despite doing little. The diagnosis: early-stage chronic kidney disease. That's when a nutritionist suggested a simple add-on. A small regular dose of baking soda could slow the decline. And a new journey began, slow but hopeful. Chronic kidney disease, CKD, is a silent condition. Many don't notice until their kidneys are severely damaged. When kidneys can't clear acid from the blood effectively, the body enters metabolic acidosis, a state that accelerates kidney damage, muscle fatigue, and bone loss. This is where baking soda sodium bicarbonate can act as a quiet lifesaver. Why baking soda may slow kidney disease progression. Baking soda neutralizes excess blood acid, reducing strain on the kidneys. Stabilizes blood bicarbonate levels, crucial for maintaining basic bodily functions. A major study in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that CKD patients taking daily low-dose sodium bicarbonate had slower kidney function decline, were less likely to need dialysis, saw significant improvements in quality of life metrics. Correct use and why medical supervision is key. Common research dose: 600 mg sodium bicarbonate per dose, 2-3 times daily, 1 or 1/3 teaspoon of baking soda per dose. Take after meals, avoiding acidic medications. Don't self-administer if you have high blood pressure, heart issues, fluid retention, or are on diuretics. It requires medical monitoring, as doses must be tailored to creatinine and blood bicarbonate levels. Mr. Thomas's small lesson and listening to his body before it's too late. After consistently using baking soda under medical guidance, Mr. Thomas stabilized his glomerular filtration rate and, more importantly, felt he was partnering with his body, not neglecting it. I don't need miracles. I just want more time to live well, walk with my wife, and draw with my grandkids without worrying about hospitals. His simple lesson: sometimes life-changing solutions aren't powerful drugs, but small, daily acts of care. If baking soda can protect your kidneys, a silent organ, imagine its potential to ease the pain of arthritis, something often thought manageable only with medication. 9. Baking soda for arthritis, a gentle ally in the fight against inflammation. Each morning, she used both hands to pry her stiff fingers open. Her wedding ring no longer fit, and the paintbrush she loved sat quietly in a drawer. But during a routine checkup, her doctor suggested a small habit: a daily glass of baking soda water. It won't replace your meds, but your body will thank you in the long run. And from that gentle change, something miraculous began. Arthritis, especially autoimmune forms like rheumatoid arthritis, RA, doesn't just cause pain. It slows every small movement, limits self-expression, and sometimes steals confidence and joy. While anti-inflammatory drugs, physical therapy, and rest are treatment pillars, baking soda is emerging as a gentle, supportive ally, not a replacement, but an aid. Why baking soda may help arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is an autoimmune condition where the immune system mistakenly attacks joint tissues. A 2018 study in the Journal of Immunology found that sodium bicarbonate can shift immune cells from an attacking, pro-inflammatory, to a regulatory, anti-inflammatory state. This reduces systemic inflammation, not just in joints but in related organs. Suitable and safe use. Mix 1/4 to 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a glass of water, 240 ml. Drink once daily, preferably after meals. Continue for 2 to 3 weeks, then pause before resuming. Don't use if treating high blood pressure, heart conditions, or electrolyte imbalances without consulting a doctor. Clara's small lesson in returning to her hands. After a month combining baking soda with an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, Clara could pick up her paintbrush and sketch lightly again. Not much, not fast, but the first strokes in nearly a year. I don't expect to run like I'm 30. I just want to sit by the window, hold my brush, and paint a sunset, without pain interrupting. And now she can, thanks to a small, patient, gentle change. As joints ease, you might wonder, what happens when baking soda tackles one of the most sudden, painful conditions? Gout, the disease of uric acid and intense pain. 10. Gout relief. Can baking soda ease the pain of uric acid crystals? David's grandfather called it paralyzing pain. A light touch on his big toe made him cry out. Each gout flare was a sleepless night, a limping day. But one day, while reading in an old library, David found his grandmother's note. Add a bit of baking soda to warm water. It may not stop the pain, but it'll make him feel lighter. And so, hope was rekindled from old memories. Gout, often called the disease of kings, is now a risk for anyone, especially after 40, with diets high in protein, alcohol, or stress. It's caused by uric acid buildup in the blood, forming sharp crystals in joints, causing sudden pain, swelling, redness, and stiffness. The good news? Baking soda can act as a natural aid, neutralizing uric acid and easing acute pain. How baking soda helps acute gout. Baking soda sodium bicarbonate in the bloodstream can raise pH, creating a mildly alkaline environment that helps dissolve some uric acid, limiting crystal formation. Reduce joint inflammation by balancing internal conditions and aiding urinary excretion. A study in arthritis and rheumatism noted that baking soda, combined with standard treatment, reduced the frequency of gout flares and significantly improved pain in some patients. Safe use for gout support. At the first sign of pain or joint swelling, mix 1 to 2 teaspoons of baking soda in a glass of warm water, 240 ml. Drink 1 to 2 times daily for 2-3 days, not exceeding 7 days. Don't replace uric acid-lowering drugs like allopurinol, and avoid using with diuretics without medical guidance. David's grandfather's small lesson in the power of simplicity. After months of sensibly using baking soda alongside a low-purine diet and light exercise, his gout flares lessened. More importantly, He felt less reliant on medications. He was more proactive, more in tune with his body. My joints still ache sometimes, but I know how to prepare. And most importantly, I'm not afraid of the pain anymore. His lesson to his grandson was gentle. Not every pain can be avoided, but you can learn to live with it wisely and lovingly. From breath to sleep to movement, from small issues like canker sores to major challenges like kidney disease or gout, who would have thought a powder costing pennies a day could play a role in so many healing journeys? Baking soda isn't a miracle, but sometimes the simplest things used correctly bring the most profound changes. If this video brought you value, leave a comment below. What did you learn? What will you try starting today? Don't forget to share this with loved ones, especially older folks, those with aches or living alone, because a small tip could change their lives. If you enjoyed this, or hit subscribe to catch our next videos, where we'll debunk dangerous myths about baking soda, guide you on combining baking soda with other ingredients for a home health kit, and much more. Because health doesn't start at the hospital, it starts with awareness, habits, and your own little kitchen. Thank you for staying until the end. See you in the next video.